Hi and welcome along to AFTV Transfer Daily, the show that keeps you up to date with players that have been linked with a summer transfer move to Arsenal. Now, I think absolutely everybody who's watching this right now will be agreed on one thing. Even if we disagree with things as Arsenal fans, there's one thing I'm sure that every single one of us will be agreed on. And that is that this summer we need to sign a centre-back, possibly two. I mean, me and DT, we were debating it in the podcast that's going to be coming out. Look out for that. But we need to sign a centre-back. And Arsenal have been linked with loads of centre-backs this summer. And let me take a look at a few of them. Now, the first one, this is said to be close to being done, if you look at all the reports that are out there today. And that's for William Saliba. Saliba wasn't really a target we would have thought was the player we'd be looking for before the summer started, but he's sort of emerged as the hot prospect, the hot person that we're going to get. He's only 18, as we know. Now, lots of reports yesterday and today claiming that Arsenal are close to completing the deal for William Saliba. Personal terms have been agreed. A contract has now also been agreed with Saliba, said to be up to 5 years. And also, on top of that, there's lots of reports coming out of France that basically Saint Etienne need the money. Saint Etienne, of course, which is his club, they need the money because they want to rebuild their squad. And obviously, listen, over in France, they don't have the mega TV deals that we have over here in the UK. And that this deal could get tied up from anything from 25 up to about 27 million pounds. But it does start to look like this could be one that could happen. Although we've seen over the past couple of weeks deals that looked like they were close. There was the Claude Maurice one that in the end do not happen. So who knows how it's going to turn out. We're also being linked today with this defender who plays in Italy in Serie A for Torino. His name is Armando Izzo. He's 27, so a lot more experience. Of course, Saliba's only 18. He's a youngster. I tend to sometimes think to myself, it would be great to have a young player in there, but do we not need an experienced player in there as well? It's the Premier League, it's unforgiving. And Arsenal have apparently identified this guy, Izzo, and are very interested in him. They've made contact with his agent and are showing an interest in the possibility of signing him. He had a very good season last season since moving from Genoa, and has really been an important player at Torino. Torino don't really want to sell him, but again, if the price is right, they may be willing to let him go. Now, what about the PSG player, Presnel Kimpembe? Now, Kimpembe, still only 23, a young player, really had a breakthrough season last year. A lot of that was to do with injuries to Thiago Silva, to Marquinhos at the time, where he really did get a lot of game time at PSG. Unai Emery knows him from his time at PSG as well, and he's a big fan of Kimpembe. I told you guys a couple of days ago about the rumours that apparently lots of speculation was that Unai Emery had actually called Kimpembe's dad to find out about his availability. There's also been these rumours coming out of France that Kimpembe apparently last year didn't get on very well with Neymar. And that's been cited as another reason that maybe, Thomas Tuchel, the manager, may want to move him on because, basically Neymar's a star guy. Although, who knows? It looks like he could be moving on from PSG anyway. He could be going to Barcelona. And there's also the fact that PSG are interested at the moment in trying to sign Matthias de Ligt from Ajax, which would cost a lot of money. Now, Matthias de Ligt, Thiago Silva, Marquinhos, and also Kimpembe, it just doesn't seem to go. One of them would have to go, and it would probably look like Kimpembe, which would mean that he'd be available. And as I said, still only young, with a lot of experience of playing big games, and Unai Emery knows him. So who knows? Could that be one that could get done? There's Samuel Umtiti, of course. We've spoken about this at the start of the transfer window. There was lots of speculation saying that Arsenal were going to move for Umtiti. Of course, of all the centre-backs I've already named out, he would be the most expensive. He cost a lot of money. Had an injury-hit season for Barcelona last year. And again, it's the De Ligt thing that hangs over Samuel Umtiti. He doesn't want to leave. He's made that pretty clear. He said, I want to stay. But if Barcelona get De Ligt again, would they be willing to let go of Umtiti? Would that trigger a move? There was also the interesting fact that Umtiti's very, very good friends with Alexander Lacazette. They were on holiday together. Pictured here, as you can see, on Alexander Lacazette's Instagram, over there in Miami, seeming to be having a great time. Maybe Lacazette's getting into his ear and saying to him, yo, come to Arsenal. And listen, if he did come to Arsenal, there already he's going to have a couple of mates around him, and that would help him to settle down very well. But would Arsenal be willing to pay what would be quite a big fee? It'd be at least 40 million, and we're being told that's all we've got to spend before we sell players. Or would they opt for Yosuke Anderson? Again, another player that right at the start of the window, there was a lot of talk about him and Dennis Pratt, both of those coming from Sampdoria. That Arsenal would bring in Yosuke Anderson, still only 23. Again, a young centre-back, but of a good age. Has played a lot of first-team football for Sampdoria and has done very, very well. Interesting, lots of clubs after him. Tottenham are supposed to be interested in him. Lyon even put in a £16 million bid for Yosuke Anderson, which has been rejected. Sampdoria looking for around about 31 million. They're not going to get that. I really don't think they're going to get that. But Anderson looks like he's trying to force a move. He's made it clear that he's ready to leave. He's ready for a new challenge. Arsenal still interested in him. Could Anderson end up at Arsenal? It's still there. It still could happen. Although we seem to have cooled a little bit on him recently. Maybe that's to do with as I said, the excessive fee that Sampdoria are looking for. Now, yesterday I mentioned this next guy, Mario Hermoso. Hermoso of Espanyol. Again, another experienced player, 24, centre-back. Great age for a centre-back. He's rejected a new deal at Espanyol. He's only got 1 year left on his deal. So that seems to suggest that he's going to be on his way out. There's no way, excuse me, no way Espanyol are going to let his contract run down. They're not Arsenal. And let him walk away for nothing. They will cash in on him now. The valuation is said to be around about 80 million, although he apparently does have a release clause of 35 million. It's complicated by the fact that, as I said yesterday, Real Madrid also own part of that contract, but it doesn't look like, Real Madrid got this buyback clause where they can take him back, but it doesn't look like Real Madrid want to take back Hermoso. So that means he could be available. And again, another player that Unai Emery knows well, another player that Unai Emery might be willing to go out there and bring. So there's quite a few targets there that Arsenal might be interested in bringing in. Love to find out from you guys today. Out of all of those, I'm going to do a poll. Out of all of those centre-back targets that I've mentioned there, which one of them, if you could only have one, which one of them would you bring in? Really interesting. We need a centre-back. And also, who are we going to move out? Who's going to go in that centre-back position? Because remember, there's been no talk really on Mustafi yet. There's been no talk on what's going to happen with Koscielny. So, and then you've got Socrates, who we just brought in. I expect us to keep him. But will we get rid of those two? Will those two want to leave? Mustafi's been questioned about in the past, and he sort of made noises like, I don't want to go nowhere. I'm happy. But we definitely need to bring in a centre-back. Which one of those would you guys prefer? Let's take a look at it in a poll. Granit Xhaka, a friend of mine, saw him on holiday yesterday and asked him, Granit, are you leaving? Are you going to be leaving Arsenal this summer? And Granit Xhaka told him no, he's not going anywhere now. The players have met with fans before and said no, they're not going nowhere. And then the next minute, they're holding up a shirt at another club. But Xhaka saying that to this fan yesterday, my friend, that he's not going to be going anywhere. You can look at DJ Styles on Instagram. You can see it on his Instagram. He's pictured there with Granit Xhaka. But he said to me that Xhaka said, no, I'm not going anywhere. So looks like Xhaka will be here for next season. And then there's, you know what, I saw this stuff. I had to go through this. Yannick Carrasco, who we've been linked with heavily all summer, seemed to be Arsenal's #1 target at one time. Although now interest seems to have kind of cooled on that. But I saw this yesterday that his teammate, Zhu Zikwan, who's a goalkeeper, he went onto the social media platform Weibo, which is like their bigger platform over there, a bit like Twitter over there in China. And listen to what he had to say about Yannick Carrasco. Very damning. He said, you're a star and you play well, but you can't win the game by yourself, right? And then he goes on to say, when we played Shanghai Greenland Shenhua, you deliberately got a 4th yellow card in the season and got a suspension to avoid playing for Shanghai SIPG, and then you went back to Europe ahead of schedule. When we played Hebei China Fortune, you told the club that your plane was late. If you came back one day earlier, how could you be late? Now you're back, but you don't even move in training. When we play training matches, you just stand around on the pitch. You don't attack, you don't defend. The atmosphere of the team has been ruined. As a professional footballer, training and games are as important as life. No matter how important a person is, he can't override the team. I really hope we can say a nice goodbye to you, just like we welcomed you in the beginning. Wow. Wow. That's his teammate. You know, you read something like that, Carrasco is definitely going. And when you read stuff like that, do you want him at Arsenal? Or is it just that he wants out? He desperately wants out. He's come out, he's been public with it. It's obviously not gone down very well with his teammates. After reading that, there's no way back for him, surely, in that club, or unless that guy's just isolated. But it does seem like they've had enough of him. And could he still be heading back to Arsenal? It doesn't look like it. Arsenal have really gone quiet on the whole Carrasco thing. And as I said, listen, we've seen things like this before in the past. Doesn't necessarily mean that the player's going to come and not give any effort. There was Aubameyang was accused of downing tools before he left Borussia Dortmund as well. So, and he is not, you know, not let us down here at Arsenal. He's put in maximum effort. But I've rarely seen that from a teammate to come out publicly and say stuff like that. That is really damning. All right, listen, let's get into a couple of your comments today. This one coming from Shay. He said, Arsenal's new name should be Link FC. Link, and no one is even coming. I know, it's so frustrating right at the moment, man. Cobster says, this transfer window can be counted as successful if we can just spin Ozil, Mustafi, El Neni, Mickey, even if we don't sign anyone. So he's more interested in moving those players out. And as I said, there doesn't seem to be much noises on these players going. I've not heard any rumours of, say, for instance, El Neni leaving Arsenal. And Martin Smith says, am I the only Arsenal fan who can see us finishing out of the top 6 next season? You're not, you know, there's a few fans that have said to me, you know, they're worried because, you know, these teams like Leicester, Wolves, West Ham, look at the moves they're making, Everton, you know, they're all coming up behind us. And if we're not careful and if we can't fix that form away from home, boy, who knows? Listen, thanks for watching the show today. As I said, we're closing in on 1 million subscribers, so keep subscribing here to AFTV. Really, really thankful of that. Don't forget to check out our shop, AFTVstore.com. We've got the t-shirts in the new colours, so make sure you check those out, and we will be back tomorrow.